Well, good morning and happy Valentine's Day. I have two Valentine's outfits to show you today. I went to Blooming Daisy in Cottleville the other day and I was like, I can't decide. My mom said, get them both. So I did. In fact, not only this, but also the earrings. So pay attention to that throughout the show. We're going to switch around for you. This one says, love you, mean it. But what I love on the back is it's actually, I don't know if you guys can see that. I have to turn all the way around. It's like, I love you more. All right, we're on the love tone today, and we actually started that yesterday. I'm going to show you a recap of our fabulous night at Stonehouse of St. Charles. So many fun pictures, laughter as we told you would happen, and more laughter than I thought. Great discussions and conversations. And it's honestly, it's kind of like, you get to a wedding and you're the bride and groom and you feel like you don't get a chance to go around and talk to everybody. That wasn't the case last night. I had such a blast and talked to everyone that I knew that was there, and even some people I didn't know that were coming. Took a bunch of fun pictures. So all of that coming up for you. We're going to give you some news you can use. We've got your weather forecast, which again, we just came off of one weather incident. It didn't turn out to be too bad, which is why more of you bought tickets to last night's event. But that's not it. I think there's other rounds that are coming as well. And then I'm super excited for today's guest. She's actually in town with her quote unquote sisters from the Waltons, Mary McDonough, who played Erin on the Waltons. We're going to catch up with her, and then hopefully you'll get a chance to see her. To get your tickets, we'll talk all about the Working Women's Show. It's not just Erin or Mary that's in town. We'll tell you about the other sisters that are going to be there as well. So a lot planned for you today. But before we get to all of that, let's do our segment that's called What the Weather.
Woo! Look at that 5-day stretch of really warm temperatures. It's definitely going to be a great weekend.
Is it going to be a great weekend? That's what we want to find out. Let's say good morning. And you can see he's in a different area. Our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, is with us. Where are you, Beckett?
I'm here at the National Storm Chaser Summit in Kansas City.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, we're going to talk about what that's going to be all about after we do the weather. So do I put the right graphic behind us right now?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how much we're going to get, but there's definitely going to be a couple chances for snow coming up.
Okay, I want you to look outside your window right now in KC and tell me if you saw beautiful colors in the sky like we did this morning here in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at just right now. It looks awesome.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It's perfect for Valentine's because it was all pinks and red hues. It was absolutely stunning. It's right on schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the other day we had a weather incident, all right? So some of us had freezing rain and sleet and snow. It was funny, back at my mom and my brother and sister-in-law live in Lake St. Louis, and my brother was talking to my mom, and she's like, oh yeah, your other brother came over and got the snow off the driveway, and he goes, Mom, there wasn't any snow, and she goes, oh honey, I got about an inch. So they live like 10 minutes from each other, and one got one and one got nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It was that close of a difference.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. All right. So what we want to know as we are all making plans, some people, as you know, Becca, trying to, go out to dinner. They can't maybe go out tonight. So they're thinking of making plans. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a reservation, but they're making plans to get to Valentine's dinners tomorrow night and then trying to come home from that. And then into next week, we want to know about as well. So let's give you the stage and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so first looking at the current conditions, right now we have a temperature of around 18 degrees, winds out of the east-southeast 7 miles per hour. So it is a chilly morning here in St. Louis. Now looking at the hourly forecast, as we head towards noon, we're going to get up into the 30s, but really just getting there this afternoon. We may get into the mid-30s today. And then tonight, looking at that, by 5 p.m., 35 degrees and cloudy. Then as we head towards 8 and 10, dropping down to 34, keeping those clouds. Tomorrow, getting into the 40s. Now that's going to be pretty warm compared to what we're going to be having to deal with as we head into the rest of the week. So looking at the 7-day forecast, you can see tomorrow we are going to get into the mid-40s, which is around average for this time of the year with a low of around 27. But then towards Sunday, cooling down into the 30s, and we continue to cool down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, getting into the teens for our highs and the single digits for our lows, and then warming up just a bit as you head towards later this week. But first, we really got to get through the core this week, which is going to be very cold. And then also, of course, that snow chance on Tuesday. That's definitely one we got to watch. For right now, I'm not thinking about major accumulations. We could have anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 inches here in St. Louis, so that's going to definitely be something to watch. And then Saturday as well. Saturday night, a couple snow showers, but I do expect minor accumulations and impacts.
Okay, that's good to know. Keep an eye, though, on Beckett's social pages like YouTube or X, because he will be obviously showing you Saturday and Tuesday, but he'll also be showcasing what he's in Kansas City for. So tell us a little bit more about what you're going to experience this weekend.
Yeah, so here at the Chaser Summit, it's my third year here, and it's really just awesome. So many storm chasers and weather enthusiasts, meteorologists from all over the country come here and gather, and there's a bunch of presentations, and everybody gets to meet and network with each other. So you get to learn about tornadoes, meteorology, hurricanes, and just all of this cool stuff. It's a really great event.
I love this. And then you're there, what, today through?
Today, and then leaving on Sunday.
Oh, fantastic. Well, be careful coming back, since you obviously are predicting the possibility of some snow. You guys have a good car to get back to St. Louis?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I'm not going to make him turn red, everybody. I promise you. I'm not going to tease him. Do you have a Valentine's?
No.
We need to find Beckett a Valentine's. Are you open to that?
What?
Are you open to us finding you a Valentine?
Sure.
Becca's like, Monica, leave me alone. All right, Becca, will you tell your mother and father happy Valentine's to them? I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I'm excited to hear all about it when we talk to you again on Monday.
You too. See you then.
All right, again, follow Beckett for all of your accurate weather on YouTube and on X. He is very active for you. It is 7:08, and I want to say that to each and every one of you, right? Happy Valentine's Day. There's actually more things going on today besides just Valentine's. It is National Cream-Filled Chocolates Day. It is National Ferris Wheel Day. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in your news you can use. And it's also National Organ Donor Day, which is so important. So when you get your driver's license and they ask you if you want to be an organ donor, make that decision. Sign the back of that card, or when you are making updates, maybe you didn't do it originally and you say, oh, I want to do that. So again, happy Valentine's to each and every one of you. Love you, mean it. Got the roses over my shoulder. There's chocolate somewhere in this house. I'd like to know what you're giving your Valentine, and maybe you can come up with something creative for your love. Or remember, it's not just romantic love for parents, love for children, love for your friends, etc. Today is also the 25th annual Hardee's Rise and Shine in-person orders now, because we did that big preview a few weeks ago with Gentry Trotter, again, Amarin, Inspire. There's so many other people's that are corporate donors, but you can get your in-person orders, 25 biscuits or less right now at your favorite Hardee's on the Missouri and the Illinois side. Thank you, by the way, to all the volunteers, 760 volunteers that will be out at all of the area Hardee's. So when you're thinking about breakfast, stop by and help them have a heart and heat a home. Well, this is pretty cool. There's some transformations that are taking place at Steinberg. The ice rink is keeping its size, but they're going to be doing a rooftop terrace. They're also going to be doing some water features and having a community lawn. You know what that means? It's going to be around the year, not just opening up for wintertime. So they're doing a lot there. I also saw that they're doing some work at Ted Drew's. So I saw that this morning and thought, well, that's interesting. But what I heard was that they are a little bit behind schedule. So they're making all those changes, obviously, for safety reasons. There's been way too many accidents and unfortunate deaths that have been in and around that area. So people go to park when it's packed across the street, and they're running across the street, and it's been very dangerous. So they are making improvements. However, as I mentioned, it is a little bit behind. So we'll be following that. And as we get more information on them being on schedule. We'll pass that along to you. But again, transformations taking place at Steinberg. Also, if you want to go to the History Museum, Black Missourians in STEM. So we find out those standout Missourians in the science and technology, math, engineering, education, etc. Tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., go to the Missouri History Museum, ages pre-K through high school. They will have hands-on activities and experiments. I also talked earlier about the today being not just Valentine's Day, but other things going on as well. National Ferris Wheel Day. So there's some exciting things going on downtown. If you want to take your family to the Ferris wheel, they will be honoring that as well. So go and ride the Ferris wheel if you have never done that before. It's really cool. It's a really beautiful view, by the way, of the city. And I love this. We actually were talking about chocolate in our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Well, that's a St. Louis company. And now they have a connection to Hallmark movies. Chocolate, by the way, they also own Bissinger's, and they have a partnership with Hallmark. Back, 5 years ago, the owner, Dan Abel Jr.'s sister, reached out to the channel about doing an advent calendar that was the countdown to Christmas that had a piece of chocolate a day while watching a Hallmark movie. Well, of course, the channel loved it. A couple years later, the company created the chocolate used in the Hallmark movie, Sweeter Than Chocolate. Now the company has expanded to be in both Valentine's Day and Christmas movies for Hallmark. Congratulations, and way to go to those that have those creative mindsets, right? Just find your voice, say it, and it may happen for you. All right, in sports news, of course, we always talk about the Blues and their games, but I thought this was pretty exciting because this is a tie to St. Louis. The Tkachuk brothers, they each scored last night, twice, by the way, as U.S. beat Finland 6-1 in the Four Nations face-off. So congrats to Brady and Matthew Tkachuk. They came out hitting, started scoring, put together a display of brotherly dominance, playing together for the first time on a big stage. So that way, mom and dad didn't have to go, oh my gosh, we're going to root for this one. And then we're going to root for this one. They get a chance to root for them both. And they both did incredible. Again, the Tkachuk brothers, congratulations and way to go, U.S., beating Finland 6-1 in the Four Nations face-off. All right, that's what I wanted to update you on. But we also have, for those of you that like Mardi Gras, I was looking and seeing what was taking place today, what was taking place next weekend, etc. Soulard Mardi Gras kicked off actually January 6th through March 4th. So here's what you can do this weekend. The Cajun Cook-Off, I mentioned it earlier in the week, that is actually taking place tomorrow. And then the following weekend, it's the Run for Your Beads 5K, the Verizon Taste of Soulard. That's the one I really love. That's the 22nd and the 23rd. They have the big Purina Pet Parade on the 23rd, the Tito's Vodka Wiener Dog Derby, which I need to get Adelaide involved in, don't I? And then the Mayor's Mardi Gras Ball, which is also a blast. That's taking place for you on February 28th. And then don't forget about the big Bud Light party tent and the Grand Parade, which will take place on March 1st. That's two parties, one city, infinite fun, because they also have the Carnival tent, Mardi Gras, and Fisher, and so many more from a music standpoint. You can go to stlmardigras.org to get all of your information. So there's a lot of other things that I saw popping up in the news, and I thought, do they want to know about this? Do they want to know about that? I will tell you that there are reports JCPenney's is closing stores nationwide. We're unfortunately seeing that a lot. Denny's closing dozens more locations. Wildlife Rehab Center says an opossum ate an entire Costco chocolate cake. Thought that was kind of crazy. But other than that, as far as what I think you really want to know that you're going to pass along to maybe your family and friends, I thought that was it. If there's anything else that you saw maybe last night or maybe you flipped on the news this morning, feel free to drop those in and say, hey, this happened. Maybe they want to know about that. I want to let you know how much fun we had last night, and you're going to see it through these pictures. We were at the big Galentine's event, and for those of you that didn't get a chance to join us, we missed you for sure. Look at all of these beautiful pictures. The boomerangs, these videos are such a blast. I want to thank FET, or it could be pronounced Fate, photo booth for so much fun with everybody that came out. Thank you to my friends, my clients, viewers that were there as well. We had such a blast and we had wonderful food. We talked about the charcuterie boards and the signature cocktails. They had strawberry margaritas. They had a Starburst drink and so much more. And it was just so beautifully decorated. Ruth Choate and her team did a really wonderful job. I enjoyed talking with all of the vendors, not only from the FET photo booth, but also Diamond G Hat Company was there, Summer in Greece, and there was also a candle vendor there. Just a lot of fun. I think the biggest draw, of course, was the hats. So many people enjoyed looking at the hats, getting custom made hats done, and walking away and just feeling wonderful. And so somebody asked me, do you have to be a cowgirl or a cowboy to wear a hat? No, of course not. It just makes you feel amazing. So if you were there last night, thank you so much. If you didn't get a chance to go, then follow them because March 22nd, Ruth said, they may have another event, not obviously a Galentine style of event, but they're thinking of doing other events. And she said she's pretty sure she wants to do a murder mystery event, murder mystery dinner event. So again, a lot of things planned for Stonehouse of St. Charles. So be sure to follow them, SHOFSC.com. That way you can get all the information that you need to know about upcoming events and having a blast, just like we did last night. And I want to thank my right-hand girl, who I think might be sleeping in today. I think I told her to sleep in and she said, okay, I'll do just that. Michelle did a wonderful job running around and doing everything that I needed last night for the big event. So again, thank you to each and every one of you. All right, it's 7:17. I want to tell you about a few more things. I'll say hello to all of you as well. Happy Valentine's to all of you that are signing on. Last night was one of our mobile Monicas, but we told you there are several coming, and I do actually have more information now on a couple of them that we didn't have exact times on. And one of them is this one coming up on March 26th. It's going to be 10 o'clock in the morning that we will be at Hoffman's Hillerman's Nursery, which is in Washington, Missouri. I would love for you to make plans to be there. We're going to talk about their potting bar, these private classes for two, and we are going to transition out of this cold weather and get ready for warmer weather ahead. So again, that's March 26th. 10 a.m. for Hoffman's Hillerman's Nursery. March 6th, though, we are going to be at Viviano's. So that is going to be during our big 500 celebration week. And thank you to all of you that allowed us to get there. Viviano's and Chef Mel, the wonderful sweet Sicilian pasta sauces. She'll tell us about others she has as well. That's from 4 to 5:30. Come out for incredible food and just a whole heck of a lot of fun. VivianosCafe.com. Now, we are going to be at their Fenton location. A lot of you might also run over and get your online orders at their Chesterfield location. But again, mark it down. We are going to be in Fenton, and that will be on March 6th. So a lot of exciting things to come. And then coming up in April, now I don't have an exact date or time on it, but just know that we've got another Mobile Monica, and that is going to be at Hello Juice and Smoothie with Jen Manis. And not only talking about Hello Juice and their two locations, but also Hello Eats for all of you that made your New Year's resolutions. You're trying to stay on point. We're going to give you a rundown of Hello Eats and how they've got all these wonderful packaged meals for you that you can take on the go. You can be prepared. It's just a whole heck of a lot of fun. All right, some exciting things to come. And what we want to do is have you think, where can our next Mobile Monica be? And I'd like to have, here's my idea, by the way, that we do one of these, a Mobile Monica, every day during the 500 celebrations. So 5 days of 500 celebrations. We got a lot of discussions behind the scenes of where that can be. And I'd like to culminate it with a big community takeover. So I'm not going to say where, because we're talking to a couple of different communities, but where do you think you would like to celebrate 500 with us? Definitely make plans for the March 6th one as we are at Viviano's. That was the first one that was booked, but I've got meetings today, all throughout the weekend into next week to secure more and more and more. And what I want is to go all over the place so that everybody feels like, oh, shoot, I can't get to that one, but I want to get to this one. Think about where that is. Let me know. Shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And that also is an email address that I want for topics or guests that you would like for us to have on. So if you want to become a sponsor, a Mobile Monica, topics, guests, that's the email that you use. And I want to thank you all. Again, it's a lot of work behind the scenes to book all these wonderful guests. And sometimes it's you that come up with the idea. And I greatly appreciate you for that. All right, before we get to our guest who's standing by, and I'm going to make a little switcheroo, put on some new Valentine's earrings and a new outfit because I bought two when I was in Cottleville. I couldn't make up my mind. We're going to have on Mary McDonough in just a second. But let's say happy Valentine's and good morning. Kathleen Morris, Linda Eckert, Julie, I love you more. Linda, red skies? Yes, at morning. Sailors take warning. It was beautiful today. Sean, happy Valentine's Day to you. Stephanie as well. Oh, Stephanie's making Valentine's cookies. Carrie, Ruby Lee, Cowboy Sweetheart, dropped on Spotify and other audio downloads. All right, thank you. Tammy, good morning. Happy Heart Day. Marilyn, fabulous date. Love murder mystery dinners. I have a group that loves these. Well, you're going to enjoy that. She hasn't announced a date for that yet, but that is something that she has planned. And as soon as she has a date, I will, of course, pass that along to you. All right. I hope you're all having a great day. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'm super excited for this interview. I just know it's going to be fun. I've seen some other interviews with her, and she just seems like such a blast and so very real. Mary McDonough, for those of you that grew up in the 70s, or maybe you grew up in the 60s or earlier, maybe you watched this show, The Waltons. I was pretty young, but I do remember some of the episodes. My husband loves them and still watches them on replay today. We're going to talk with Mary about being in town for the working women's. It's just the working, no, I shouldn't say just, it's the working women's show now. It is no longer the survival because women are thriving. And it is underway, and it's a reunion of these girls. Judy Norton, who played Mary Ellen, Mary McDonough, who played Erin, and Cammie Cotler, who played Elizabeth. So much fun, live and in person at the St. Louis Working Women's Show at the St. Charles Convention Center. If you haven't bought your tickets, do so. It's going to be fun. Yeah, Stephanie, she said she loves the Waltons. Well, we're going to be visiting with this beautiful woman right here. You remember her in the bottom picture? That's how she looked. But look how she looks now. It's just absolutely stunning. And she is going to be our guest when we return.
Monica's show, it's very informational, but more importantly, inspirational.
People such as myself and others can come out and talk about real issues that are taking place in our communities.
These are amazing, really, really important topics that don't get discussed enough.
It really just promotes people who are making change and doing good in their lives.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Well, welcome back. We are excited. I know a lot of you women are as well. You go to this year after year after year. I mean, it has been going on for decades. The Working Women's Show is underway, and we want you to get out there and go to it. A lot of girls talking to me about this last night at our big Galentine's event. That was so much fun, by the way. And now, if you're looking for something to do for the weekend, why don't you grab your girls, continue the theme of girlfriend love, a reunion of the Walton sisters we mentioned. Look at that. Judy Norton, Mary McDonough, Cammie Cotler, live in person, the St. Louis Working Women's Show. The Waltons, you know them, you love them, and we're excited to have one of them. Mary McDonough, who played Erin Walton, is our guest this morning. How are you, my friend?
I am so good. I'm so good. I'm glad to be here.
Well,
Excited.
the women are gonna love you. I
Oh,
was talking to Mary just off camera, and we were saying, so who all comes to the Working Women Show? I'm talking, Mary, very, very young to grandmas and all in between. And you're gonna have a blast with them, and they're all going to want to share all the stories about loving watching you growing up.
well, and we're excited about sharing all of our stories about growing up as working women. We started a little younger than
You
most
did.
people.
I was just gonna say, so the interesting thing is I was watching an interview with a guy that was in Scotland that, he was talking with you years back and
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about how you got your start, that you weren't necessarily saying, "Oh, I'm bit by the bug, I wanna go to Hollywood." It didn't start like that for you, did it?
It did not start like that for me at all. And I'll talk about that when I'm addressing everybody. But yeah, so I was a dancer. I was not an actress. I did not take acting classes, but they were looking for people with red hair. And I always joke, it's always about the hair.
Exactly.
It was only about the hair.
If you were blonde, you wouldn't have gotten it.
Probably not. I would not have had that audition at all.
And that was
So,
homecoming.
yeah, the homecoming became like the pilot for the show, and they were looking for people that were like Earl Hamner, the creator's family, and they were redheads, most of them. So they were looking for redheaded actors, and that's the only reason I got the audition. And it was my very first audition, and I had never worked before, and I got it,
That's
which
great.
was
And how old were you?
10.
10. So look at that. So think about from baby to 9 years old as your life's going
Mhm.
along, and then boom, how drastically and how immediate did your life change?
Oh, it was, one of the things that I'm talking about this weekend is about transitions. And it was literally lifting me out of my McDonough world and depositing me into this Walton world. And it changed my entire life. My life has never been the same in good and challenging ways because of it. But it
Absolutely.
was definitely, I mean, I left my family, all of the things I knew, and then suddenly I was expected to be in this grown up working world and yet kind of treated like a kid.
Yeah.
And I got this whole new family. And it was quite a departure from the little Irish Catholic girl that was going to parochial school.
You and I so one of the things, again, if you're just tuning in, Mary McDonough is my guest, and we're talking about the Waltons. We're talking about you getting a chance to see her and others from the Waltons. But you and I have so much in common: growing up Catholic, carrying those big books around, wearing the
Oh yeah.
uniforms,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But
Hmm.
Mary also, you're also going to talk about this, I'm sure, but you're also a life coach. What got you into life coaching?
So it's been, my whole trajectory has been really interesting. I started out working on the show and doing the acting thing. And then I sort of expanded within my industry. I started producing and writing and hosting. And then, you have to be scrappy to be an actor. So I had sort of expanded my vision of what a working woman it was. And I ended up in producing educational films
Yeah.
and writing for them. And someone said to me, and I've been an acting teacher for over 30 years.
Mhm.
And so someone said, gosh, it would be really great for you to take these trainings because you work with people who are nervous all the time. And also you're working with people who are being in my films, which were corporate, and
Mhm.
they weren't used to being on camera. So they said you might want to expand. So I took the first course just like to see what it was, and I ended up taking 6, and then I ended up going in for certification. So it became a 2-year process, and it has made a huge difference in my life, and it added to all the other coaching that I do.
Yep.
I don't just coach actors, I mean, I coach people in their lives and women in transition, and being able to help. I'm a coactive coach. So
Okay.
being able to help people through a lot of the things that I've been through,
Yep.
whether it be, I have lupus, so I
Right.
deal with people who are dealing with health issues, and I deal with actors and people who are in transition career wise. And it has been so incredibly rewarding, as you know.
Yep. I Absolutely, Mary. So again, being able to have this kind of, if we use the analogy of like this wounded bird, and then all of a sudden allowing them to fly again, I just got chill. It is amazing to think, wow, just some of the teachings that I have, I can go in and help that person. But we're not doing it, right? It's teaching them how to do it, and that they don't always have to be dependent upon someone, and helping them believe in themselves and grow again. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Again, if you're just tuning in, Mary McDonough, she played Erin. So I want to know, looking at your life growing up, and let's show you as Erin and then you as Mary, having to differentiate between the two. How different and how similar were you to her character?
I am very similar to her in a lot of ways. I think they sort of wrote to us as we started to grow. One of the things that's very similar is that I am really sensitive. I mean, I think we call that the crybaby. So Erin was sort of the sensitive one, and I think it's because I was sensitive too. I cried a lot. It
Yep.
wasn't always a fun thing for me. I wanted to be normal at one point and just go to school. So I am a lot like Erin, and I am different from her as well. I think one of the things, like you said, like when I wrote my first book,
Yep.
I went way into it about just the whole body image thing, about that Erin was only known as the pretty one.
Right.
Like she didn't really have anything to offer. You can see her,
Right.
the vanity. and Mary Ellen was the tomboy, and she was strong and sassy and athletic. And Elizabeth was the smart, cute little baby. And Erin was just an idiot. And so me and Erin found our way. And that's been, me finding my voice, being able to put it into words. And Erin, she was in all of these beauty contests all the time that she lost, by the way.
Yep.
Always a loser. And always being told by grandma how vain she was. So, I had those same messages. And so I had the body image stuff, and working through all of that and finding my voice and finding out who Mary was and what I had to offer was huge for me. And when I wrote my book,
Yep.
and everybody was writing books, so I was like, oh, how do you write a book? Well, I was always a writer, so I just expanded on it. It was my story. But the reason that I wrote it, and why some publishers didn't want to publish it, is because it wasn't scandalous enough. But I said, I'm writing this book because I never want anyone to feel as frightened and scared and alone as I felt at times when I was growing up and in my career path.
How
And
to help them?
it is why I actually do most of the things I do in my life. It's why I coach. It's why I teach.
Mhm.
It's why I write.
How many books
So
do you have?
three.
Three,
I had
right?
I had two novels,
Yep.
and Lessons from the Mountain is my book about growing up on the show, and I will have it there today.
Okay.
I will be at the St. Charles Convention Center today signing them, and then tomorrow and Sunday I will be there with my books, but also with my Walton sisters.
Yes.
Elizabeth and Mary Ellen will be there with me, and we'll be taking pictures with people and signing things and stuff. So yeah, so I have three, and I just finished my third novel, my fourth book.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah,
You've been
looking for
busy.
Yeah.
What, here, this is what's funny. So Mary and I were talking again before we went on, and I was like, okay, so I didn't do a show yesterday morning and got a lot of messages from people who were like, well, where were you? And I was like, well, I've got other interviews I have to do. And then we had the big event last night. And as a life coach, she said it right away. She's like, I knew exactly where you were going. I have to also have the balance that we preach, right? Otherwise it's like, wait a minute, you're telling us to
Yeah.
do this? Yes. Right.
Yeah. And we have to dance in the moment, don't
Yes.
we?
Yes.
I mean, we really do. And it's, it is practice what you preach, and it is walking the talk.
Mhm.
And, even writing what I was presenting, that those old fears of like came up for me. And I wrote to texted Judy and Cammie, and I said, is anybody else freaking out about their speech? And they're like, no, we're fine. Just you. Oh, like, yes, it's always me.
Yep.
All those, so we're always dealing with life balance and our little girls that live inside of us, and managing that. And I always try and be very transparent and vulnerable about that, because one of the things that I learned when I wrote my book was that I actually wasn't alone.
Right.
We're all in together.
Yep.
And when I coach people, it's it's the even plane of, and we all learn from each other, and we all, you know, have people to balance stuff off, and we mirror each other. And I found out that so many girls felt the way I did when they were growing up. No one ever talked about it.
No one ever talked about it. And again, as Mary mentioned, when you finally find your voice, it's such a beautiful place to be. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, you feel this way? And it's like the sisterhood or brotherhood or couplehood or whatever. It's just, someone has to start the conversation. Otherwise, everybody's back here suppressing their feelings.
And it's hard to be honest, we're always told, like, handle it. We're women. We are capable, able, we can juggle everything. We're expected to be, and I always talk about how I do everything. I never just did one thing.
Nope. I always said, Mary, I had job ADD. I was like, I'm all over the place.
I know. And I know when I got put into dance as a kid, I was what they called it active then. I totally get what it is now. I mean, never stopped moving. And I've never stopped moving.
Yep.
I mean, I've tried to slow down. That's my challenge, like slow down, take a breath. And as I'm older now, I realize that I need to slow down a little bit, just like you did. But, self-care is such a huge part of being a working woman.
So important. Self-love, self-care, all of it. And when you get it, one of the things that we all probably hope is that we can teach the younger generation and they get it earlier. So it's not once I got to 40, 50, oh, now I'm getting it. Well, great. But if they're at 20 and they can have that self-love, that would be a beautiful place to be. Again, Mary McDonough.
Aren't they so lucky?
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? That's because we all go, oh gosh, I wish I would have had this person placed in my life. But you are also very spiritual, as I am. I said, Mary and I, you're going to find that we would be best friends. So I also was a dancer when I was younger, wanted to be an actress. The funny thing is, I remember opening up the phone book, Mary, and I would tell my mom, I want to be in commercials. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to get you into that, right? You had an agent that stepped in for you. They didn't know anything about agents. And so my mom's like, look in the phone book. So I'm going through, calling all these people, and they're like, nope, nope, nope. And then one person said, oh, wait, your name sounds familiar. Were you in a Pizza Hut commercial? I was like, yes. I was not. I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, yeah, you were really good. We don't have anything right now, but yeah, keep in touch with us. I was like, dang it, I thought that was my in.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing is, so John Ritter, who also played on the Waltons, was very instrumental in your life. And one of the things that I love is he talked to you and really taught you to journal, which all of you that watch know that I'm very big on it. The journal's right here. Know your value journals and that whole mantra of understanding just how valuable you are. But what did journaling do for you? And do you still journal daily?
I don't journal daily. I used to do morning pages a lot. I don't journal every day, but I do journal still. And I have to say, journaling saved my life.
Yep.
And I was able to tell John Ritter that before he passed, that if I had not been writing out, spewing my emotions onto those pages, I don't know what I would have done or where I would have ended up and where that path would have led me, because I had all of these emotions that I just didn't know. And nobody taught me how to deal with them. I now have daughters that are so strong and sassy, and and I have two stepdaughters and a birth daughter. I gave my birth daughter something that was hard for me because I gave her a no.
Oh.
So she could say no.
Yep.
I was never allowed to say no. I was always the dutiful one, right? So now this next generation can say no. I don't think so. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And it's been huge. But I didn't have anybody to tell that to or to share that with me. So I wrote it all out, and it taught me how to write.
Mm-hmm.
So, and being a writer now, it connected me to emotions and saved me. Yep. And it is so important. And that it was secret. And when I went to write my memoir, when I went to write Lessons from the Mountain, I opened up that Tupperware container and I started reading all of my journals again. And I was amazed and shocked and sad, and about how the roller coaster, right? About how I felt. But I love it. I love it writing.
We mentioned earlier that you have 3 books. Are they all still available in print?
They are. So
one year is the first one, right?
1 year is the first novel, and Christmas on Honeysuckle Lane was actually made into a Hallmark Christmas movie, which I was in, and so was Cammie.
Oh, Cammie was too. That's right.
Yep, Cammie has a cameo, and Alicia Witt stars in it. And then I have my third book is also a novel, and it's a mother-daughter story.
Oh, I would love
Yeah.
that. So your birth daughter, Sydney,
Yes.
and you are now a grandmother also, right?
I just became a grandma, and I love it so much.
All right, so this is what I love. So the show's called The Real Monica Adams for a reason. I didn't turn my
Because
ringer
you
off.
are real, and your phone is
Yes,
on.
yes. And your Instagram, by the way, is also Real Mary McDonough, right?
Yes.
See?
Yes.
I'm telling you, we would be best friends.
I know. We're twins. We're really twins, Monica.
I found my twin. She was just talking about Hallmark, by the way. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, I didn't get a chance to see it, but it was kind of controversial. People kept talking about the Hallmark movie that they thought was about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, right? Okay, no. So don't say anything. We're going to come back with that. And then we're also going to come back with a movie that Mary is going to be in that's going to be in select theaters in April. So we'll talk about all of that, where she is today. So don't go anywhere.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. You are such a gift to the world. Your program is so needed in today's, really in the messages that people need today. So thank you. Thank you for having your faith. So again, thank you so much. I am looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to watching your show much more. So I appreciate you so much. And may God bless you beyond measure.
Well, bless you, Tessa, as well. Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. This is the Real Mary McDonough, and that is actually her handle on Instagram. So where are you most active socially?
Facebook.
Okay.
Walton Fans are on Facebook. I have the Instagram, and they're connected a lot.
Mhm.
So both. But I have to say, I have the most people because I've been doing Facebook longer.
Yep. That's my biggest audiences also. See? So again, you're still my twin. My biggest.
That's exactly.
Okay.
You know, I have people who say, please don't add all these things to us.
Exactly. See? Exactly. Okay, so I didn't get a chance to see this, and they actually did a special re-airing for Super Bowl, but Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. Mary was in. You may have had a chance to see her in this, and I'm just going to tell you, I think he is just the biggest cutie. Tell me about Tyler.
Oh my gosh, he is a sweetheart. That's us on the set. I did this selfie. I have no makeup on though, okay? He is a sweetheart. He is just a little love bug, and I have to tell the story on him. We were filming in Independence, and outside of Kansas City, and he would go out, and it was really hot, you know. So they would put us in, and we're wearing coats and hats, so they want us to stay as cool as possible. But we herded off to these rooms in between shots, and there'd be lines of people up because they heard that we were filming out there. And he would go out and he would greet all the fans and he would take pictures with them. And he was so sweet.
I love hearing that. I was hoping he was, because he comes across that way in all of his characters on Hallmark, but you never know with an actor, right?
Yeah, and he's funny and goofy, and he was just so, you know, when we had our first table read, he was just very, you know, he looked around, he was like, oh my gosh, look who's at this table. So he was very humble, and I was like, oh, you're the star, stop it. And he was like, oh, this is just so amazing. He was very, very sweet.
That's good to hear. Okay, so did you hear the same thing that people were like, all right, there was this big buildup, and I thought it was all about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and what? So tell me about, for those of us that didn't get a chance to see, and what does this have to do with your role?
Oh, that has something to do with Crazy Carol, the Christmas loaf lady. That's my character. She was a little obnoxious, but she did love making Christmas loaf for everyone.
I've
So
never
I
had
took a
one of them, by
picture.
the way.
Everybody was saying, "Oh, is it fruitcake?" I was like, "Well, Crazy Carol has her own recipe,
Oh, okay.
and there were peppermints in hers that
Oh, really?
melted when you heated it up." So yeah, it was just so much fun to do, and it wasn't about the who you think, and it was funny because people got angry too. They were
Right.
like, I don't want to watch it if it's really about them. I said, it's not. It's really about like Tyler Hines and Hunter King. It's really, they're not even in it. They're in it. It's really like a Hallmark story.
Yeah.
And it was very Walton like, I thought. It had a multi generational message and story of a family that loves each other. They love the Chiefs too,
Of course.
and that's how their stories entwine. But it's really about the love and family and loss and rekindling and finding what's important, which I think was, it was a big story for a Hallmark movie.
I just love, I mean, I have a sweatshirt that says, "This is my Hallmark watching sweatshirt."
Oh, and do you?
My husband went,
I wore my Chiefs jersey when I
I
and that's
will,
what I got on the show. But you saw
I'll be sitting there working late and he'll get ready to go to bed. And then he immediately, whatever he's watching, whether it's news or he loves, by the way, he is a huge Waltons fan. He's a huge Little House on the Prairie fan. He's just a fan of all what he considers to be more pure, more family oriented. He's like, we
Mhm.
lost that. He's like, I just wish things like that would come back. He's a lieutenant with the county police. So for him, what he sees on a daily
Oh,
basis,
yeah.
right, it's to come home. And yes, there's the balance again, right, Mary?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you've gotta add the kindness in from
yep,
sometimes the horror that you see and experience, and just finding that balance.
right.
Yeah, and I know there's so many people who watch Hallmark movies and they just put their feet up and they watch them one after the other, and I think that's why they show them so much because people love them all year long, and this one's a sweet one. I had to tell people, like, "No, Taylor Swift is not in this." I would love to meet her, but no. I didn't even get to meet Mama Kelsey. She was not listed the same days as
Where did you watch the Super Bowl, by the way? And
I watched it at home.
did you have the Chiefs jersey on?
I did. And my
Okay.
husband, every time when it started to go south, my husband's like, "Where's my hat? Where's the hat?" And my husband put the hat on. But no, it was not this time.
No, oh my goodness. It was crazy. But again, and people were just like hating. I'm like, come on, it was an amazing season and there's off
It was
days.
an amazing season.
Unfortunately,
And it was an amazing game though,
yes,
too. I mean,
it
you have to give credit where credit is due. It was a
right?
really amazing game.
Well, and honestly, if you didn't watch the game and you woke up and then you see the score, you'd be like, oh, 40-20, that's not too bad. So it doesn't show what happened when it was 30,
What
40.
happened and how incredible those last minutes were, which
Yeah,
also shows how incredible the team is, right? It just
absolutely. Absolutely.
so yes,
Again,
but I loved my time there. I loved filming in Independence. I loved being in Kansas City for a month, and it's just I had a great time. I love the
so have
state, which is why, and I'm back here again
I
and
was just
doing
going
this
to say,
Working Women show.
so have you been to St. Louis before the Working Women show?
No,
No?
no. And
Wow.
Judy and Cami are going to be with me tomorrow and Saturday, and Cami loves it here, and she
Good.
said, "Oh, I will come back to St. Louis at any time." And Judy said, "Oh, I have friends here." So we always
Oh,
try and go places that we want to be and places that we want to see.
well, now you do as well because you've got a twin here.
I know.
So come back. So here's
I'm
the deal.
ready for my tour, Monica.
Okay, while you're here, you've got to have toasted ravioli, by the way. If you've never had toasted ravioli before, have you?
I have not.
Have you had a concrete? You got to get a concrete from Ted Drew's. These are staples, and
Okay.
you have to have
Okay.
Emo's Pizza.
Okay. I think that's on Cami's list,
See?
though.
Of course it
Yeah.
is. And then if you have time, you got to go down to see the Arch.
Yes, I would love to do that.
And our
Um,
zoo, by the way, our zoo that's free. That's
oh,
amazing. Yes.
amazing.
I know,
Well, we
right?
are going to be a little bit
I
busy,
know you are.
today, tomorrow, and Sunday. But if we can sneak out, we'll probably drive around a little bit. We can see the arch at night, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's fun if you're able to actually go up in the little pods and go
Yeah.
all the way up to the top,
Yeah.
but again, you're gonna be busy. Speaking of being busy, so again, there's so much that Mary has done since you saw her on the Waltons and through her authoring and as many other things in the field of the Hollywood lifestyle. You also are going to be in a movie that's coming up in select theaters in April. So tell us about Sod and Stubble.
Oh, so this is another lovely story, made by people in Kansas that got together and are doing these. This is the second film I've done with them. The first one was Contested Planes, and Sod and Stubble is based on the book, and it is about people who came out to the plains and started a new life, and went west, and the challenges that they face. And Bailey Chase and Dodie Brown star in it, and they are absolutely lovely. And they're German, and Darby Hinton plays my husband in it, and we are a German family that is already in the town that they come to. And it's about homesteading, it's about family, it's about loss and life, and trying to get along in difficult times and uniting together, as a sense of community. It's really lovely. And it was great to spend time in Kansas, filming Out and Downs, and the great thing about these filmmakers is that they're all historians as well.
Okay.
So we actually filmed right next to where the real homestead was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
From a history standpoint, that's very, very cool. I mentioned April. Is there an exact date?
I know that the premiere is at the end of March, so I believe that it's going to be in theaters in April, and then eventually it will probably be online and streaming somewhere.
Fantastic. Looking forward to seeing that. What else is on the horizon for you?
I just finished, as I said, my new book. It's taken me a long time to write this one, and now I'm just looking to publish it. And I'm experiencing the journey of maybe going non-traditional with that, and seeing what happens. But I think it would make a great movie. That the people who have read it have said, "Oh, this is a great miniseries. This is a great show. There has to be a movie." So we'll see. I'm going to pursue that, and I've got grandma duties coming up.
So, grandson or granddaughter?
Granddaughter.
How old now?
She's 1.
Oh, so
yes.
How different is it from being a mother to the transition of a grandmother?
Seamless, really. I mean, the most exciting thing is people ask me, is it strange to see your little girl being a mother? And it isn't at all. Oh. She is so incredible. And what is a real gift and a blessing is to watch her and my son-in-law, just how they are with her. I was joking with Tony Becker, who played Drew on the show. I said, I know, she's so good at it. Like, she's just so lovely. And I don't know where she got that. And Tony said, do you think she got it from you? I said, oh, no. She's way better than I was.
Aw, you got to give yourself some credit.
Oh, well, maybe she learned a few things. I did give her a strong no.
Exactly, which by the way is huge. So Mary's got some other interviews, by the way, that she has to do, so I don't want to keep you too long. But what really stands out to you, whether it's practical jokers or just aha moments in life or emotional moments from your time on the Waltons that maybe you have talked about in past interviews, or maybe anything that you're like, you know what, I've never talked about this before. This happened.
Oh gosh, what stands out for me the most, I think the biggest gift from the show is this second family. They're my sisters. I'll be there with them this weekend. And just having this other family that is so constant. I remember when I went to do other shows and I did guest spots on other shows, and there were shows that I loved, and I would go on them and I think, oh, this is going to be so exciting to see them all hanging out and being together and doing what we did. I mean, we took our guest stars out to lunch with us. Like, we had meals together every day, just like we did with the Walton dinner table. And so we always brought people out with us. And I thought, oh, this is going to be so fun. And I was just shocked that other people on other shows, either they didn't get along, they never had lunch together, and they, didn't like each other, or they just didn't have the bond. And I think one of the biggest blessings of the show is that our fans see that in us and that we are really like a family,
Mm-hmm.
and they share that with us. So when someone comes and you know this, Monica, because of coaching and stuff, but when someone comes to you and they are so personally affected by watching the show, from now they still do, like maybe they're the third generation and they
Right.
shared it with their great grandma or
Yep.
their grandparents, and people come and share such vulnerable moments on how the show touched their lives.
Yes.
It's such a responsibility that we, like I always say, I just hold the bowl. And when people come, sometimes people cry and
Sure.
I just hold them. And, you know, they'll say, I didn't have a family and you were my family.
Wow.
Or my dad died and John Walton was my dad. Or my family was just like this, my grandparents, and now they're gone and they're sharing it. I mean,
That's
it
beautiful.
is beyond us,
Yeah.
but we feel this, this huge responsibility to hold the bowl for all those feelings and emotions and sharing, and that it represented a time in America that doesn't exist anymore, but people wish did, or wish we were more like the Walton way.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, and so I think it has such deep meaning for
Absolutely.
people, not just us as who were honored enough to play them.
Do you think there's anything at all that's out there right now on traditional TV or on Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything like that that even remotely resembles anything from our past shows that we grew up with?
It's a really good question. I don't know anything that's on right now, although I did feel that the show This Is Us was
Yes.
close.
Oh, that was beautiful. That's
I
what
wanted to be on that show so bad.
I wanted to come back.
I know. I wanted to come back and keep going. You know, maybe Parenthood.
Mhm.
But I think that's why we are showing in the Waltons are on every day for different
Yes.
people at different times, and so is Little House. And
Yes.
I think hopefully our country and our own psyches will heal and will come together and really embrace neighbor and embrace the brotherhood of mankind.
Yep.
And embrace other, because the Waltons was all about other. It
Yep.
was every week somebody different than us came in, and grandma may have had a fit about it, and someone may have been twirling in their boots, and we didn't understand. But when we reached out and tried to understand why they were different and how they were different, and talk and treat them with that consciousness of kindness, we understood. We didn't always agree, but we understood that they were different. And then we learned something and grew in ourselves. And to me, that's sort of my hope. And it's that the show is still so popular and touches people.
I love it. And you mentioned earlier about how all these generations can come together. We've got a 15-year-old aspiring meteorologist that's on the show every Monday and Friday. And, you would love him. And by the way, he's phenomenal. I mean, he's gotten Fox Weather, the Weather Channel. He was on the Tamron Hall show, and he's getting national attention because he's really, really good. He goes and chases the storms. He's reporting on top of like 20 feet of snow. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But his mom and dad always say, oh, he's such an old soul. He'll watch all these old shows and he listens to Frank Sinatra. And I was like, see, he's searching for that kindness and that connection. And we look at these faces and it brings us back to that. So for those of you that don't know that it's on regularly for you and you want that slower, simpler time of true kindness, seek it out because it's still there. As I mentioned, my husband comes home and I just smile because I was like, oh, the Waltons are on. Oh, Little House on the Prairie's on. It feels like I'm a kid again.
There's something about that tune, right? When you hear da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yes. Yes.
I actually have a friend who rescued a dog, and her dog was really nervous, and a rescue dog. And when she played the Waltons, the dog would calm down.
Oh my gosh, maybe that's it. Maybe I need to play that for our dog Opus because we rescued him and he's still very scared. We think he was abused. That's it. Maybe Jim
You need to put the Waltons theme song on. And there's something about the way we talk to each other that people have told me it's very calming. Like you said, what is the difference between you and your? I think the biggest difference is how we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Erin's like a little bit more, and I'm like all over the place. And I'm the ADD girl with, big bunches of energy and emotion all over the place. So that is the tonal quality of the show, and not a lot to scare your dog. No
That's it.
car crashes or sirens or
Right.
people screaming.
Yes, it makes you anxious.
Yeah.
Well, so how often do you get a chance to get together or talk with your sisters, with Judy and Cammie?
Well, we talk all the time.
Good.
We text all the time. We've been, talking about, what are you going to wear? What should we wear? I don't know. And so we are all connected. We are like a family. I spent a month in Delaware this last summer, and Eric Scott, who played Ben, and his wife Cindy, they were dropping their son off at college in Syracuse. They're like, well, hey, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just come down and stay with you for a couple of days. And I said, oh, you are? And as if we're inviting ourselves.
Exactly. Okay.
into your holiday. So our holiday is going to be with you, And I was like, okay. So they came, they stayed for 3 days. And we try and go and do like autograph shows and similar to what, and giving, selling books and stuff like that. And we try and do them as much as we can. And we're trying to expand it to different areas of the country, because we've done a lot in the South. And so we people always say, well, come and see us. I said, well, if you have a venue or an event or somebody who wants to bring us in, everybody would love to come back here. And it's sort of where people bring us into is how we go. And we try and do 3 or 4 a year. And then we do have taken vacations with each other away from those events too.
How much fun. Again, don't you all love hearing this? Because this is what you want. You want to look at those shows that had such a deep connection, and you want to say, was it real? Did it continue? And there you go. Mary just said yes. And she's the real Mary McDonough, so she wouldn't steer you wrong.
No, it's funny. We have this one thing that whenever we go and do an event, we do the work, and we show up when we're supposed to, and we meet people, and we love to meet our fans and hear their stories and share with them. Like, what we're going to be doing tomorrow and Sunday, answering questions from fans and talking about the show. But we always say we have to have one night where it is just us.
Yes.
And we have our family dinner. So we're still having Walton family dinner.
I love hearing this. You'd say, good night, John Boy.
We don't do good nights, but we do have a meal together. And it's really important for us to just have that time where it's just us, because we have a lot of history. And even our spouses, they'll joke, like, we have to walk 5 paces behind them.
And all your spouses get along really well?
Yeah.
Gosh,
yeah.
You're blessed.
We are blessed. We are very, very blessed. We are, and in my book, I write about, the challenging times and the wonderful times. And I have to say, especially at this age, I look back and it is a constant blessing and continues to be a gift. And I'm just the lucky girl who got to be on it.
Well, I also saw, and I'm glad, you had a surgery right around the holiday, and then I saw
did.
Your pathology. It was non-malignant.
True.
Right? Yes. So
yes, and I'll tell you, I've never told anybody what actually happened. So now that I'm recovering. I'm going to be a little bit slow on that stage. I had a tumor inside my spinal column.
Wow.
Yeah, and it had doubled in size. So I had not only a back surgery, but I had a spinal cord surgery. So it was pretty scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Some of the possible outcomes were very frightening. So I really appreciate all of you who are listening, who said prayers for me and sent me love and lit candles. Thank you. I have chills.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It worked. So
yes,
again,
angels.
prayers spiritual energy, all those hugs and everything. Give her tons of hugs, by the way, now that you know that. You are welcome back on the show anytime. I knew we would have a good time, but I did not realize just how
Yes.
much we had in common.
We can pick a different topic and just go again.
Yes, let's do it. And I am going to try. So I have a big event I'm emceeing tomorrow, but Sunday I'm going to try to clear my schedule to see if I can come out there, and then I'll see you.
Come out. You have to meet my sisters,
Yes.
Mary Ellen and Elizabeth. Judy and Cammie are so fabulous, and they have great stories too. I used to joke when I wrote my book that every single family member should write their own book because we each have a different perspective.
Sure.
And Cammie is an educator.
Oh.
She has been a principal of charter schools, and she created them. She's amazing. She's the smartest one of us all. And Judy has also been a producer and has done theater and produced and written and directed, and she sings. She's a gorgeous singer. And we all just have a similar life, but we all have had these different lives, and they have so much to share with you guys. So I hope everybody comes out and see us. Yes. We have times when we're talking on the stage and doing questions and answers, but we're also, I'm signing books, Judy's signing CDs, Cammie has we have all kinds of fun stuff and pictures, and we're going to be doing selfies with people. So I think it'll be really fun. And people can ask us more questions when we're signing.
Again, live and in person, it's the Walton Sisters at the St. Louis Working Women's Show. So if you haven't purchased your tickets yet, be sure to do so. Even if all of a sudden your day opened up, just like I'm saying, I'm hoping to do that on Sunday, but you can get an opportunity to go today. You can go tomorrow. You can go on Sunday. It's a great time if you've never been. It's been going on for decades. Wonderful speakers, wonderful vendors, a great time shopping. There's samples galore. I told Mary.
Oh, I cannot wait to shop. I was walking the halls, and I'm like, oh, I need to go back. Oh, there's a Scentsy booth. Oh my gosh, could I get some eyelashes? There's so much stuff there. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Do I really have to? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I got to work. Oh, darn it.
But maybe I can get some eyelashes before I present. I can't wait. So we'll see everybody out there. We'll see you.
Yes. I'm making it happen, ladies. We've got to make this happen. Mary McDonough, you are a doll, and I know you're going to have a phenomenal time. So welcome to St. Louis. I hope we see you well. I know that all the ladies cannot wait to see you. One of the things that I say at the end of the show, which I'll say just a little bit. So Mary's going to wrap up with us, and then I'll come back. We're going to do a devotional because you all know I'm faith-based and end with a little spirituality. But one of the things I always talk about is that you can be anything you want to be. You can be an actress, you can be a director, an author, but the greatest thing you can be is to be kind. And I can see that that's who you are. So thank you for all of your kindness today. And I hope you have a wonderful time at the show.
And thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, everybody. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio, Kate, going to
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We're gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna.
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her. So much fun checking in right now. A little social media check. Text everyone. Tell them they missed out if they're just now tuning in or if they missed it all together. Looks like we've got about 54 of you on right now. I hope you truly enjoyed that. And I just ran down really quick and asked Jim if I was correct, if the back of my sweatshirt said, I love you more. And he said yes. So love you, mean it, and I love you more. You like the little switcheroo changes? Again, wear something fun today. I'm loving this. I got these from Blooming Daisy in Cottleville. I got the sweatshirt from there, just got that shirt that you just saw me wearing, and also those other earrings. So I'm all decked out and ready for Valentine's Day. We mentioned that not only is it Valentine's Day today, but it is also National Organ Donor Day. So pretty cool for you to be thinking about how you can help when you're not here any longer. National Organ Donor Day, National Ferris Wheel Day. Again, some special things that they have planned at our Ferris wheel downtown. And then, of course, Valentine's Day, right along with that, National Cream-Filled Chocolates Day. If you missed the beginning of the show, we had Beckett on. He's in Kansas City for the Storm Chaser Summit. We talked about news you can use, and then all of the big mobile Monicas coming up. We showed all the pictures from last night. It was just a lot of fun. And we confirmed, Hoffman Hillerman's Nursery, the time of it. It is 10 a.m. on March 26th. Make plans. Again, when we give you these times and dates, and we've got them on our calendar of events as well at TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Come on out. We would love to be a part of it with you. We also have on March 6th, we will be at Viviano's in Fenton, along with Chef Mel's wonderful sauces. So it's Michael Viviano and Chef Mel, who, by the way, will join me next Tuesday in studio so we can do the storytelling aspect, the human interest side, the lead up to them opening their wonderful businesses. And then we get to have fun with them on March 6th, which is during our big 500 celebration. So I asked you in the beginning, where would you like us to be on the other 4 days? Because we're thinking of doing 5 days of 500 celebrations, and then all culminating in the final big celebration at a bigger venue. So a lot of planning going on behind the scenes. We're running out of time. So where would you like us to be if you know somebody with a really awesome business that would like a ton of attention on them? Because I'm telling you, every time we do one of these 100 shows, there's a lot of eyes watching. There's a lot of people showing up. So wouldn't you want that for your business? I would think so. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then in April, by the way, we have booked Jen Manis with Hello Juice and Smoothie, and she's also with Hello Eats. So I'll let you know when that, it's probably going to be like early to mid-April, but I'll let you know when that takes place. All right, everybody, happy Valentine's Day. And I saw a lot of the comments coming in saying that you'd love to see Mary. I have the Waltons DVDs and watch all the time. I have two sisters. We talk every day. Thank you, Monica and Mary, coming to the show tomorrow. Way to go, Stephanie. Have fun with that. Yeah, I hope the weather cooperates for you as well. Stephanie said she read The Honeysuckle Lane and saw the movie. Loved it. I grew up with the Waltons. Alicia Witt is amazing. I saw you in that movie as well. Yeah, wasn't she just the coolest person? Happy Valentine's Day, Tony. Good morning, Julie Purcell. Hope you're having a great day as well. A few others that made comments live, but you can also, if you watch this on replay, do a little hashtag replay and feel free to ask a question, and I'll make sure that we send it on to Mary or go see her again at the Working Women Show. Linda said she loved watching the Waltons. We would mimic the Walton goodnight with each other. I did that as well. I grew up in that large house full of 8 kids, Linda says. Boys shared a bedroom and the girls shared a bedroom. Love the Waltons, everybody's saying. I hope you enjoyed that. And again, if you missed it, if you're coming in here at the very end, go back and watch the show. It's a good one today for sure. All right, give yourself fully to the adventure of today. Walk boldly along the path of life, relying on your ever-present companion. You have every reason to be confident because my presence accompanies you all the days of your life and onward into eternity. Do not give in to fear or worry, those robbers of abundant living. Trust me enough to face problems as they come rather than trying to anticipate them. Fix your eyes on me, the author and perfecter of your faith, and many difficulties on the road ahead will vanish before you reach them. Whenever you start to feel afraid, remember that I am holding you by your right hand. Nothing can separate you from my presence. And if you're wondering what I was reading from, it's Jesus Calling from Sarah Young. And thank you, by the way, to Marilyn for giving us that book, as well as Jesus Listens. There's a Christmas book from Sarah Young that she gave us as well. Kathleen, thank you. I love the interview as well. It was wonderful. Okay, I want you to remember what Beckett said at the beginning of the show, that there's a possibility of some snow coming in tomorrow night as well as next Tuesday. So if you didn't see his forecast, again, the current conditions right now, 18 degrees, probably warmed up just a little bit since we had him on, but the hour by hour, it is going to be a cold one today. So we are now in the 8 o'clock hour. We're talking 20 degrees going up to freezing at 32. 35 by 5 p.m. and then dropping down into the mid 30s still by 8 and 10 o'clock tomorrow. 8 a.m. 37, 12 p.m. 42, and that's where we're going to see some light rain, and then maybe into the evening we may see some snow. So if you've got plans tomorrow night, just a heads up. And then your extended forecast, 29, so it's going to be a cold one. But look at that low on Sunday night, 10 degrees. Monday, 22 with a low of 8. And then I am not looking forward to this at all. Tuesday, we're talking about the possibility of snow, but here's the problem. 14 for the high, and look at the low, and it could change to even colder, 1 degree. Wednesday, 13 with the low of -4. Ugh, I don't like February. Thursday, 17 with a low of 3. And on Friday, we get a little warmer, 26 with a low of 14 degrees. So that is Beckett's forecast in case you missed it. And I told him that I have the right background, and he said, yes, the possibility of snow is there. So if you've got plans, you might want to change things around just a little bit, depending on what the weather's going to do. Just, again, keep an eye to his pages on YouTube and X, because he's so unbelievably accurate, passionate, dedicated. He's at the Storm Chaser Summit in Kansas City, and he will check in with us on Monday and give us a recap and let us know what that's all about. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend, and of course, a wonderful Valentine. Whatever you do, happy Valentine's Day to you. If you're going out, have a wonderful time and be safe coming back home. We're going to stay here warm and make dinner. I think Jim said we're going to make a lobster tail. Looking forward to that, and maybe finding a good Hallmark movie to watch. Whatever you do, give a little more hugging and loving, and tell those that you love them, because again, you don't want to waste one precious second of this life. I love you all. I mean that so much. Love you. Mean it. I hope you have a great one. And remember, being kind is the greatest gift you can give to anyone. Have a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you Monday.